What would you do if fixing your health meant doing the opposite of everything your doctor told you? A suicidal dietitian healed on red meat. A psychiatrist reversed psychosis with fat. A world renowned professor said, I was wrong. Their awakening, it might just be yours too. Hi, my name is Marc Bates. I'm a metabolic health coach. This is part of my question and answer series, and this one is the moment I realized everything I knew about nutrition was wrong. So let's get to the question. Small one this time. When you first encountered the idea that everything you've been taught about nutrition might be backwards, what was that moment of realization like for you? Well, you know what? That was quite a shock when I first started trying to become a health coach more than 10 years ago. And the rules changed on me completely as I actually did the research. When you first begin to suspect that everything you were taught about nutrition might be backwards, it's often shocking, disorienting, and profoundly liberating. Several of the authors we're exploring describe this epiphany in ways that might resonate deeply. Okay? So, first one here is Michelle Hurn. She wrote the book The Dietitian's Dilemma. Michelle describes her moment of awakening as a personal crisis. After doing everything right by conventional standards, low-fat diets, calorie counting, plant-heavy eating, she found herself physically and mentally broken, exhausted, malnourished, and battling suicidal depression. It wasn't until she defied her professional training and tried a low-carb, meat-based diet that her muscle pain, anxiety, and depressive symptoms began to disappear. The change was so dramatic it forced her to question everything she had been taught during her years as a licensed dietitian. What would you do if your health was restored by doing the opposite of everything you were taught, she asks. That question became the thesis of her journey and her book, The Dietitian's Dilemma. Dr. Georgia Ede, who wrote Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind. Dr. Ede's awakening was gradual but deeply unsettling. Despite being a psychiatrist trained at Harvard, she had almost no education in nutrition and fully believed in the standard low-fat, high-fiber diet. When she became mysteriously ill, plagued by migraines, fatigue, and gut issues, no doctor could help. Out of desperation, she kept a food journal and discovered that a mostly meat, very low-carb diet dramatically improved her symptoms. This direct experience led her to uncover how completely unscientific and ideologically driven most nutrition advice truly is. What I discovered was that nearly everything I thought I had known about nutrition was wrong, she writes. I was genuinely shocked to learn that there's absolutely no science or logic behind recommendations to eat plant-based diets, low-fat diets, or diets rich in whole grains. Okay. Dr. Chris Palmer, who wrote the book Brain Energy, one of my favorites. Dr. Palmer, a Harvard psychiatrist as well. The paradigm shift happened when one of his patients with schizoaffective disorder, who had failed 17 medications, dramatically improved on the ketogenic diet. When hallucinations and delusions faded and the patient lost over 150 pounds, Palmer was stunned. He began researching the ketogenic diet and discovered its long-established therapeutic use in epilepsy, then started connecting the dots between metabolism and mental illness. That changed for me in 2016 when I helped a patient lose weight. I was flabbergasted. I had never seen anything like this in my entire career, said Dr. Palmer. Dr. Tim Noakes, who wrote or was one of the primary writers for the textbook, The Ketogenic, the Science of Therapeutic Carbohydrate Restriction. Okay? And I said before, one of my primary mentors in this field. He's the one who changed my mind about everything. Dr. Noakes described his moment as a Damascene conversion. Paul on the Damascus Road, right? After decades as a respected academic promoting high-carb, low-fat diets, he read The New Atkins for a New You and was horrified. He realized he had been wrong for most of his career. Within 2 hours of reading, he flipped his own dietary approach and began reversing his type 2 diabetes. Within 2 hours, the scales of those lost years fell from my eyes. Like Saul, I was now on the road to a transformation of holy proportions, according to Dr. Tim Noakes. Okay, and Nina Teicholz, who wrote the book The Big Fat Surprise. Teicholz, an investigative journalist, began by writing a simple article about trans fats. As she pulled at the thread, she uncovered a half-century of flawed science, ideological dogma, and corporate influence. Her epiphany was less personal health transformation and more a realization of how entrenched bad science had misled millions. Right? The more I probed, the greater was my realization that all our dietary recommendations about fat were not just slightly off track, but completely wrong, Nina says in her book, The Big Fat Surprise. Okay, in summary, the moment of realization is not just intellectual, it's emotional and existential. It's the jarring recognition that much of what you've been told to do to protect your health may have actively harmed you. It comes with anger, relief, and often a surge of mission-driven energy to help others escape the same trap. Each author had a different path, but the common thread is clear: a profound disconnect between lived experience and official dietary dogma was the crack through which faith finally shone. Would you like a visual? Okay. So if you'd like to know more, keep paying attention to this channel. Thanks for watching. Once again, as always, if you have questions, please leave them in the appropriate section. If you have ideas for what you want to do, the idea for this whole series came up from some listeners who asked me about things. And once again, we're in a community here. I'm here to try to provide you with the answers as much as I can for you. But if you tell me what you're looking for, it makes it a lot easier for me. Okay? So if you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, share this video with somebody who might enjoy it and might get more from it. And appreciate your time. Thank you.